Over the last 7-ish years, God has been healing me in so many ways, including healing me from multiple late-stage chronic illnesses through wisdom, herbs, and nutrition. And so I thought it would be fun if you came along with me to make my lunch today, which is going to be packed with biblical superfoods, and we can talk all about God's pharmacy and His biblical prescription for becoming fully nourished in order to really water and nurture the garden of our body so that it can do what He designed it to do, which is to heal. And we can talk all about these superfoods as we go along the process of making my lunch today. So if that sounds like something that's up your alley, go ahead and stick around. If you are new here and you end up enjoying today's video, I would love to have you subscribe so that we can visit again. We're in my humble little kitchen. I love being in the kitchen. I actually do not know where I would be without the wisdom of God. Truly, 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 I am so thankful for everything that He's shown me, everything that He continues to show me. It is just incredible. The more and more that I learn and understand how He designed our bodies and our minds, speaks to the fact that there is a creator and that creator is good. There's so much complexity and there's so many things that He has put all over the earth for our enjoyment, for our benefit, for our wholeness and our wellness. And so I just give Him all the praise today. And I am excited to eat lunch. I have this absolutely beautiful bowl of figs here today. So many herbs. Spring has sprung. Typically with my fruit, I just pop it in a bowl with some baking soda and water. I let it soak depending on the fruit. If it's something like strawberry or blueberry that's gonna get waterlogged really easily, I only do like 4 to 5 minutes. If it's something a little bit thicker than that, sometimes I will do it for 7 to 10 minutes. It just depends, but the baking soda helps to clean the fruit. Have a little love affair with aprons, so we're gonna be extra and put on an apron. If you gotta do the everyday things of life, I feel like why not make them kind of special? You know, there's a lot of things in the world today that don't feel special, including the everyday tasks, but just in general, just the way that they're sucking beauty out of everything and sucking beauty out of the process of nourishing ourselves and making food. So why not enjoy the experience a little bit if we are able to? I'll say this as we go through this process. Obviously, most of us understand the fact that the food today is not the same as the food when they were eating it in biblical times. I would say basically nothing. But we can get as close as possible to things that are a little bit more like that version of food than what we got going on today. A lot of the edible substances that we consume today are not food as our body understands food. And so it's having a really hard time processing it, or it's seeing it as a foreign invader or a toxin that it has to deal with. And so it's causing a lot of inflammation. So really the best we can do is get as close as possible to enjoying some of these superfoods that God has put on the earth for us. And I will start with herbs because I do have a lot of herbs here today. Some fresh mint. Oh my goodness. When I tell you that herbs have been such an incredible part of my healing journey, you see all of these jars up here. I'm genuinely so fascinated with how much medicine that the Lord has put on the face of the earth for us. The deeper that you go into it, it's like a love letter from God, not only for the culinary experience, because I think herbs just make everything better, all of the food better. I really like seasoned herby food. I like flavor in my food, but also for the medicinal benefits. So these aren't things that you'd be eating in like a huge quantity. You're not going to eat an entire bowl of thyme, or you have it as a tea form or a tincture form or an infusion. It's just so incredible. It's so powerful. I can't make obviously all kinds of claims here on YouTube, but the powerful changes that I have seen through utilizing herbs in cooking, in teas, in tinctures, in infusions, in medicine has been absolutely life-changing. So herbs are absolutely our first superfood, and I'm going to be using multiple herbs in my lunch today. Superfood number 2 is raw honey and all kinds of bee products. It's so sad to me what we are doing to the bees, what's happening to the bees, because bees produce such incredible medicine, especially right now during allergy season. Taking in bee pollen, propolis, raw honey is incredible for helping the body process histamine. And we just need to take good care of the bees. I'm going to drizzle some of this, of course, on some of these beautiful figs, but I'm just also going to do this. And I do this during allergy season. Also helps your immune system. This is kind of where it's at. What did God declare was going to be in the promised land? A land flowing with milk and honey, dairy, cream, and butter, and all of those other beautiful superfoods from animals that are roaming and eating grass. Those signify goat milk and all of that beautiful stuff, the A2 milk, not the watered down, low fat, inflammatory nightmare dairy that we have today, but actual dairy. The beautiful fats and richness in the dairy. Sweetness of the honey signals to your body that there is abundance. And when your body thinks there is abundance, fruit signals to your body that there is abundance. And what happens when your body suspects that you're not in a time of famine, but you're in a time of abundance? The body, the nervous system is going to react positively to that. Now, obviously, you want to do things carefully. You don't want to eat too much fruit. You don't want to overload your system with fructose, and you don't want to eat too many sweet things. Having a date, which is one of the foods we're going to talk about, having a date or some raw honey is very different than eating refined sugar. I know there's some people that would argue that. You're never going to talk me into the fact that processed refined sugar is the same thing as eating a fig. I love you, but you're not going to talk me into that. While we're talking, I'm going to get a pan heating up because I'm going to be cooking a little bit of steak. So everything today is everyone's lactose intolerant because no one can tolerate the inflammatory nightmare that they've turned dairy into. And then everyone's gluten intolerant because no one can tolerate the gluten inflammatory nightmare that they have turned wheat and bread into. I think it was very rare before with fresh milled, ancient grain sourdough bread and A2 healthy whole milk dairy. I think it was very rare for people to be intolerant to these foods. I really think what's going on is our bodies are shenanigans intolerant. They're foolery, fakery intolerant, and we're just labeling it other things. I know personally, and I'm going on this journey very, very soon as I get some other things in our life settled, I'm going on this journey very, very soon of working my way up because I'm one of those people that can't eat modern wheat or gluten. I'm going to be working my way up, fresh milling the ancient grain, the organic wheat, probably einkorn, but I haven't decided yet, and turning it into sourdough bread. And then I'm going to be working my way up from a very small crumb to see how it goes. It's not a dead inflammatory food. It's an actual living food, the way that God planned and designed bread to be and to nourish the human body. So hopefully by the time we're talking next year, I will be able to eat living, fresh milled sourdough homemade bread. Let's go. I'm excited. All right, so I'm gonna heat up my pan, some beautiful grass-fed butter, beautiful yellow butter. I'm so grateful for all of this food. The next food is olive oil. Olive oil, real olive oil that hasn't been cut with lower quality oils. Some single source olive oil, this is the Graza one, is so incredibly good for you. I take actual spoonfuls of olive oil, sometimes with some sea salt. My favorite is a little bit of maybe feta cheese with herbs, tomatoes, lots of dill and things like basil, and then some really good olive oil with cracked salt. That's one of my favorite, especially in the summertime, that's one of my favorite dishes. This is A2A2, whole milk with the cream on top. And this is typically our milk of choice. This comes from a farm that is a state away. This is certified regenerative whole milk, cream on top, A2A2, low temp pasteurized. So instead of trying to smuggle totally raw milk across the border, which I can do and will do sometimes, this is just a little bit easier to find. So this is the lowest temp they can pasteurize at legally. And it has the beautiful cream on top, which is so delightful. Fermented foods. The preservation method of days gone by was fermenting. So I have kimchi here. We of course have eggs, friends. Speaking of the chickens, Nature's Super multivitamin. Okay, it's got the choline, it's got the stuff you need for your brain to be okay. So eggs are absolutely one of the superfoods that God has put on the earth for us. I'm not gonna have these for lunch today, but fish is obviously a biblical superfood. And sardines, friend, they are so good for you. This is Botox in a can, okay? This is your filler in a can right here. This one's so good. It's a little pricey. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is sardines preserved in lemon by Fishwife Sardines. It's just that it's filler in a can. Get your ketones up. It is so good for you, so good for your brain. I'm not gonna tell you what it prevents in old age, but eat your sardines. Later this year, I'm gonna be coming out with something that hopefully will give you lots of ideas on how to incorporate this into your life if you're a little hesitant about that. Highly recommend. Sea salt has so many minerals in it. It preserves, it helps you to ferment foods. It sanitizes. There are so many incredible uses for a good sea salt. These are the things that heal. I'm going to be putting some of that salt on the steak, but mainly I'm going to be utilizing my yogurt dip today for that steak. And I think a bunch of this fresh dill. All of the beautiful sweetness that God has to offer. Dates are incredible because they don't spike your blood sugar like other sweet things. So one of my favorite things to do is to take a date, cut it open, put a little bit of the beautiful butter inside, and that is such a lovely treat. Sometimes I'll drizzle a little bit of that raw honey over top. So this will satisfy your sweet tooth during the day, and then you don't have to grab the thing that you shouldn't grab. And I know I mentioned herbs, but I just want to mention again, like all of the healing leaves that God has put to be medicinal, to be teas, to be infusions. I can't get enough of it. God is so good. And speaking of what we're cooking right now, meat, beef, and lamb, and all of those things, obviously we want to be mindful of where that's coming from, but meat is absolutely a biblical superfood. And this is coming from someone who was a vegetarian for 18 years, and it did a heck of a number. I am still physically recovering from the damage that it did to my teeth, to my hormonal system. Do you ever wish that there was some button that you could push and you got 5 minutes to go back and talk to yourself? You could like pick a date, like Back to the Future, and you could just go have like a 5-minute or yell in your face, slap yourself. Anyway, but God, He's in the business of making all things new and renewing and restoring, so we're okay. Isn't this what the gals do? And I am also going to put a smidge of garlic on there, which is one of our other biblical superfoods. Now, garlic can be a little bit rough if you are in the beginning stages of healing your gut. I couldn't touch any garlic, nada, nothing for years. This would make me so sick, okay? And after doing a lot of gut healing, I can now eat this cooked or powdered. I still can't eat it raw, but we are on a journey and I can eat this cooked, highly antiviral. I will also crush this up sometimes and give it to my chickens if they have the sniffles, and this patches them up quite nicely. Okay, this is done. I don't have pomegranates, but citrus is so lovely for helping to detoxify. I really like putting a lime in my refresher at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I like doing lemon and room temperature water sometimes in the morning, sometimes with some fresh herbs in it, depending on the time of the year. That is gonna sit for a second. I'm gonna quickly whip up the yogurt sauce. Okay, it's very simple. It's a little bit of yogurt. It is of olive oil. I would love to give you specific exact amounts, and I will later this year, many. I do a lot of this. Since I can't do the raw garlic, I'm gonna put garlic powder in here, smidge of onion powder. I am going to do lemon juice and a bunch of fresh dill. And I am going to have this be my sauce. It is my go-to, it is delightful, and I could dip just about anything in it. It is a version of like a tzatziki sauce. I can't eat raw cucumbers. They make me quite ill, so I'm not gonna add any of that to this, but a lot of people will chop up some raw cucumbers nice and fine and add that into their yogurt sauce. Got my beautiful bowls from Beaumont Pottery in Maryland. They were so lovely to send us some of their pottery from their shop. That's a doggy handle. Look at that. Isn't that something? My husband will only use the cup now that they sent him. We're just about ready for lunch. Just so you ladies know, low-fat yogurt, low-fat dairy is terrible for women's hormones. I know the 90s, they got us, right? They just low-fat everything. Try to wipe that from your memory. Try to Men in Black, shoot the little thing in your eye that erases your memory. Try to get it out of there, because low-fat dairy, this is not going to make you fat. Low-fat dairy is going to make you inflamed, however. Pomegranates, figs, our bodies like antioxidants. They do. Fruit is colorful for a reason. It's colorful because it wants you to pick it once it's ripe and ready to be picked off the tree, because unlike a lot of other plants, when you pick fruit from a tree, it actually helps the tree produce more prolifically. So it's a cycle that we're participating in. The fruit wants to be picked. I just wanted to take a quick moment to remind you that I have my 30-day Glow Up Reset Challenge. If you have been looking to just kickstart your lifestyle a little bit towards more wellness, if you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, but you always tend to kind of fall off of these things before the 30 days are over, I got you, because I have connected a short encouragement video to every single day of the challenge. So when you open up the download, there will be a link on every day that you can click on, and it will take you to a private video with me walking you through that day and giving you a little pep talk. So hopefully you can get through all 30 days and come out the other end with your glow up. So if you're interested in that, I will leave the information for you in the description box and pinned in the comments below. Now back to the video. Oh, it's face tracking me. There we go. What do you guys think? We got our figs, our date with butter, our steak with yogurt sauce and fresh dill, and our fermented kimchi. So I'm gonna go sit out in a little bit of sun and eat this before I have to get back to work. So praise God, He is the provider, the sustainer, the nourisher, the nurturer, the Almighty, and He gives every good and perfect thing. So I give Him all the glory and the praise. Thank you guys for coming along with me to make lunch today. I want to thank you all so much for coming to the kitchen today. I hope that you found this fun and helpful. If you have any video ideas, things you want to talk about, let me know in the comments below. If you're new here, if you enjoyed today's video, I would love to have you subscribe so that we can visit again. I pray that you will do something good for yourself today. Take care of yourself. Let me know what you think about this topic. I appreciate you so much. And Lord willing, I will see each and every one of you beautiful and precious souls right here on the next one. Bye, friends.